Hello, my dear students. Myself, Wasim, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE. Today, we are going to discuss looping statement, in which we are going to cover for loop statement. Upon the completion of this class, you can able to have a knowledge on how to use the loop statements for writing different programs. So, this is a general form of the for loop statement. The for consists of three parameters where we can able to see like it consists of a initialization section, a test expression, and an updating, and it follows with a set of statements which is generally a body of the loop. So the flow of this is like this: initialization and followed by a text expression. So if it is true, the body of the for loop will get executed, otherwise it will come out of the loop. And as well, it's going to update the loop control variable. So let us try to see that a for loop is used when a loop is to be executed for a known number of times, and it's the same task can also be done with the help of a while loop, but it's more easier to write a loop with the help of a for loop, and it makes a more readability, and it has a finite counting steps. So let us try to compare a for loop with a while loop. So on the left hand side we can able to observe a while loop which do have initialization, an expression, and an updation. So all these three are going to be in a single line with the help of a for loop. So it's very easy for a user to read your code such that it can easily able to identify that its initialization, expression, and updation will be in a single line, and it follow with the body of a loop. So here this is the body of the for loop and this is the body of while loop. The only change is the updation and the initialization will be in a single for loop. Let us try to see the example. In this example, we are taking C as a loop control variable, and we are trying to check whether if it is greater than 0, then the loop is going to repeat it, and we are decrementing is as the loop control variable is getting decremented. Whereas if you try to see that initialization, condition, and as well as the updation statement, all three over in a single line, hence it's make more readability when compared with a while loop. So the important point to note is we can skip the initial value expressions, the condition, and or the increment by adding a semicolon to it. So you need to identify out of this which are the valid usage of the for loops are. So now the condition is mandatory that you need to define it. You can omit the initialization part as well as the updation part. So it behave very similar to like a while loop, where in the while we are going to write a condition. Now the summary. The purpose of the loop is to repeat the same code for n number of times. So your for loop is an entry control loop, or which can also be called as a pretest loop. It do the same thing of repeating as of the while loop. Let us try to see some programs. So this is a lecture level practice problem for you. For a given number, you need to find out the sum of the digits while using a for loop. So let us try to write this code, and you can also practice some other programs which we'll demonstrate in our class. Let us try to write the code in Ubuntu environment. Let us try to write a loop, for loop for finding out the sum of digits for a given number. So I'm going to write a program with name sum of digits using for loop. First of all, let us try to create some variables like n for reading the number, sum equal to 0 to store the individual digits, and r to store the remainder. Let us try to write some basic statements to read the values. Enter a number to find its sum. So we need a loop control variable like I, where it starts with or simply we can able to take this loop as a while loop. While n is greater than 0, we try to repeat the set of statements. So what are these statements are? We just simply need to find out sum plus equal to, we can able to write n mod of 10, and this we are going to repeat for while n equal to n by 10. While n greater than 0, this is the updation statement we are going to mention. So every time we are going to take the digit and we are going to add. We can also do this with the r equal to n mod of 10 and adding this r to the value of sum. So hence we can able to print now the sum of digits is percentile d comma and stored in sum. So this loop is going to repeat when while until n is greater than 0, and this is the updation statement. So you can able to observe like no need of initializing of any condition here, because no initial variable is required, because always like n is greater than 0 in this cases. Okay, so let us try to run this program. Compiling cc, then dot slash a dot out. If I give a number 3 4 5 and 6, so hence the sum of the digits is 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 5 12, 12 plus 6 is 18. The same we can also check like 1 2 3 4, and the sum of digits is 10. Now you can able to observe like we have used a syntax something like this, where we can omit the initialization in this case. But if we try to miss the condition, then it's going for, it throws an exception. Okay, let us try to modify the same code to find out the sum of a single digit sum. So that's we can see in our class that how we can do it. So this is a for loop with the help of which we can able to iterate a set of statements for an n number of times. So it all depends on the program that how to terminate your loop is. The termination condition is more important, because if it doesn't specify the condition properly, then it might lead to an infinite loop which fills up the stack that's being used in your program. So hence thank you for listening.